They are the Insiders, Chris Johnston, Pierre LeBrun, and Darren Dreger, and welcome to what promises to be a very busy few weeks on the trade front. And nowhere could the change be more dramatic than in the city of Winnipeg. No less than 3 key Jets make our top 5 list on our trade bait board. Pierre-Luc Dubois and Connor Hellebuyck have already made it pretty clear they want out. Mark Scheifele, 1 year left on his deal, is a serious candidate to be moved out as well. How about Erik Karlsson, who rounds out our top 5? On the upside, he's coming off a career season that's probably going to see him win the Norris, but he comes with 4 more years at $11.5 million a season. Pierre, where are the Sharks and Karlsson right now?
They're on the same page. That's where they are. You know, both sides met last week. Karlsson's reps from Newport Sports and Sharks management. And they came out of that meeting saying, yes, let's try and get a trade done here. Erik Karlsson wants to play for a contender. And the Sharks are rebuilding, and so they really have a unified vision on where this needs to go. But you mentioned the contract. Is there a team out there that can eat enough of that deal, or how much are the Sharks willing to eat? Of course, Karlsson has the full no move and will have the last say on if he's comfortable with the trade partner. No guarantee this deal gets done, but a few teams already kicking tires the last few days.
Well, in Ottawa on this day, the Senators elected for salary arbitration with Alex DeBrincat. But how that should be interpreted is they've basically set the window for when they have to trade him. Any salary arbitration case comes with a 1-year contract awarded, and there's an understanding here that DeBrincat is most valuable as an asset if he gets a multi-year deal. And so that means that they're going to have to deal him by the end of July, early August when the ARB hearings happen. And I believe they're going to put a push on here to get that deal done much, much sooner by the draft this month. There's said to be very strong interest from the small list of teams DeBrincat and his camp provided, and right now for the Senators, it's about working through those conversations and finding the best return.
Now, if you're not into a scoring winger but would prefer maybe a D-man, how about the Canes' Brett Pesce? He's going into his final year with the Canes at just over $4 million a year. Or a little extra cash can get you Noah Hannafin with 1 year left with the Flames at just under $5 million. And if you need a goalie, how about John Gibson? The Ducks are in a rebuild, and they could certainly make Gibson available. It's kind of an unusual year on the goaltending front. They're ordinarily in short supply, but Dregs, we get the sense there are some real options out there between the pipes right now.
No question. There are layers of goaltenders, lots of options available. Now, it's all salary cap related for those teams that have interest, and there are a number of teams that need at least a goaltender upgrade. So are you big name hunting via trade and looking at Connor Hellebuyck or John Gibson with the Jets and with the Anaheim Ducks? Are you willing to test the unrestricted free agent market, assuming Hill gets there? You've got Tristan Jarry, you've got Korpisalo, you've got an experienced goalie in Cam Talbot. You want a bold move? How about offer sheet Jeremy Swayman with the Boston Bruins, although I'm fairly certain that the Bruins would match that. So there are different layers and options when it comes to goaltending.
And you mentioned Brett Pesce, Gino, when we go back to the D market here. Listen, if the Hurricanes have their way, they're not trading Brett Pesce. They're signing him to an extension, and those talks continue with his camp, his agent, Judd Moldover. But I think the Hurricanes are also pretty resolute that if they can't extend Brett Pesce, they will move him this summer to get max value on the asset with a year left on his contract. Among the teams that I'm told have already reached out on Brett Pesce, the Buffalo Sabres, who have made a priority, as Dregs has reported before, of going out and getting a top 4D. They have interest in Pesce.
Yeah, I think the Edmonton Oilers have interest in Pesce as well. We know that the Edmonton Oilers are one of those teams in the market also looking to add another top 4 defense. But in Edmonton, it's about loosening up the money strings and creating cap space. So this isn't going to be easy for Kenny Holland. He'd also like to add a competitive forward, a bargain forward like Connor Brown. So you're looking at maybe Cody Ceci getting moved, Warren Foegele being on the move, Kyler Yamamoto, and maybe others. So the Oilers could do more than just tweak.
Elsewhere, the Cup run was a lot of fun to watch, but could we see some of the Knights turn that on-ice success into possible nice paydays, Chris?
Yeah, they're still celebrating their Stanley Cup, so the business isn't exactly getting done in Vegas these days. But one to watch is Ivan Barbashev. He was part of the Golden Knights' most effective line in the playoffs, most dangerous line. And I think that he's willing to test the open market after having that run. Look, he loved his time in Vegas. It was a special run that ended with that Stanley Cup championship. But, you know, knowing timing is everything, knowing that the market does not have a lot of strong names on there, I wouldn't be surprised to see him come free July 1st, and he'll be looking for a raise on the $2.25 million he earns.
Well, look, a lot of teams looking at potentially signing. They're pending unrestricted free agents, but every team is preparing for the upcoming draft. And it's a little different for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're still uncertain as to how involved newly minted general manager Brad Treliving is going to be allowed to be. Can he go on the floor? Can he be at the table? Right now, he can't. There's ongoing conversation between the Leafs and the Calgary Flames. The Flames imposed the restrictions so Toronto could get to Treliving. Unlike Kyle Dubas of now the Pittsburgh Penguins, who doesn't have any restrictions on him.
There's a lot going on right now. They are the Insiders, Chris Johnston, Pierre LeBrun, and Darren Dreger.